Hey, I hope you're doing great today. This is Chuck Densmore with Expert Message, and I want to talk to you a little bit about content marketing and behavioral marketing. But first, I want to talk about content marketing and how to get your message out there. And I want to talk to you also about positioning yourself as the expert within your field, because it's very important that if you're going to deliver a message, that people know you are the one who knows everything about your product or about your service. So let's start with marketing today. Marketing has changed. Audiences everywhere are tough. They're different. They're tired of the postcards that come in the mail and go straight into the trash, the newspaper flyers. They're tired of the spam email. They've set up special accounts to just clear the spam so they don't even have to look at them. It's not very effective anymore. And unless you're on the right radio station, you're not going to reach them. If you advertise on television, they're probably getting a drink, or worse, they're TiVoing right over you. What do we do today about marketing? How do we think outside the box? What is your strategy? Traditional marketing includes newspapers, radio, other types of advertising such as mail-outs, the things you're familiar with, you grew up with, and you've known your whole life. Digital marketing, of course, is the internet-based marketing. And today that can mean many things. It can mean Facebook. It can mean Google searches. It can mean having videos on your phone. It can be Facebook accounts, it can be Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it. Anything to do with the internet is considered digital marketing. But again, both of these marketing techniques have gone by the wayside because people are simply tired of all of the messages that are inundating their inbox. So what do? Let's start by talking about how someone makes a purchase decision. A purchase is a journey. It happens in phases. First of all, people are motivated to make a purchase. They decide they would like to have something, your product or your service. Before then, they didn't even think about it. Maybe something broke and they have to replace it. So next, they're going to educate themselves. They're going to do the research about the product, decide who has the best value. And I mean value, not price. That is the best value for the money they're going to spend. Decide what product is best for them that meets their needs. And then they're going to make a choice. Now, they may make a buying decision, or they may choose a merchant to purchase from. At the final stage, though, they're affirming their purchase. They've either made the purchase and they're getting great customer service and follow-up from you, or they're affirming their purchase by meeting with you and getting you to reaffirm that they have made the right decision. So most marketing today focuses on this phase, the choosing phase. They try to catch people when they're shopping, when they're ready to make a purchase. But marketing has changed. This is where people close their minds to you. When people need to be contacted is in the initial phase, the motivation phase, when they're first thinking that they need the product or service. Wouldn't it be great if you could be at this point in their decision process, you could educate them, you could hold their hand and move them along their purchasing path until they make their decision. When it comes time to make the decision, because you helped them, because you provided the knowledge, the experience, the expertise, and you guided them, who do you think they're going to make a purchase from? So the trick is, how do you catch them at the beginning of their journey? So let's talk about marketing smartly. We discussed that we're going to be talking about content marketing and behavioral marketing. These are two new ways of marketing that are going to get around the traditional marketing, that are going to help you get to the motivation point in someone's marketing decision. Starting with content marketing, people are connected today. They are on so many different devices. Think about it. If you left your phone at home, don't you feel naked the whole day? Of course you do. Everyone does everything on their phones or on their iPods or on their computers or their desktops or their iPads or their electronic devices of some sort or another. This change is happening so fast, even looking at this image, some of these items, these electronic marvels, should already be in the Antique Museum for Electronics. But I want to ask you a question. Speaking of electronics and the digital media, who do you think the number one search engine is in the world? If you answer Google, you would be correct. Now, who do you think number 2 is? If you answered Yahoo or Bing, you would be incorrect. The number 2 search engine in the world is YouTube. Now think about that a minute. If we're all connected through our devices, why would we be looking at YouTube? It's because we're looking for content. We're looking for information to enhance our lives, to enhance our purchasing decisions. Whether it's a how-to video or a video that explains the differences in investing, or a video that helps someone learn a new language or a new topic, or even the video to see what the next door's crazy cat was doing last night. YouTube is the number 2 search engine, and it's owned by the number 1 search engine, Google. How do you get in front of these people? Well, let's start with what you know. Answer a few simple questions. In your business, how did you get where you are today? What is a success story that you have in your business? And think about one unique service that you offer to your customers. And how have you made a difference in your customers' lives? Well, these topics go into what create your unique selling proposition, what makes you different, what makes you stand above and beyond your competition. These are your selling points. These are the things that make people want to pay attention and look at you. So to get the answers to these questions, we're going to play a game of 20 questions. I also call this 10-10-4. When people are thinking of purchasing your product or service, what are the 10 most frequently asked questions that you encounter? Write them down. Then think about the 10 questions they should be asking, the things they didn't even think of. You know, we don't know what we don't know, right? So you're educating them. And then, if there were 4 key topics that you could talk about on your product or service that would help someone make a decision, what would they be? Could you spend 5 to 15 minutes giving a mini training on each of those topics? Then we take the 10-10-4, we sit down with you and we do a video interview to create your first set of videos. You're simply answering those 20 questions that you created and doing a short training on the 4 topics you selected. Once that's completed, we process it, we strip away the audio, we have it transcribed, and now you have a 20-chapter book with 4 bonus sections. Isn't that cool? We get you published, and usually we can get you to the top 100 bestsellers and oftentimes get you to number 1 in your category. Now, don't you think if someone knew you were a number 1 best-selling author that they would think you might be an expert with your product or your service? Of course they would. Would it make them more likely to purchase from you instead of your competitor? You bet. We then can take the information we've created and make a training system. We can create training videos that either tell more about your product or help train the person more about your product. Maybe it's a training on how to use the product so it makes them understand the uses and creates more of a need for the product. It can even be in physical format like the image we see here, or it can be digital. Usually we end up with digital, and people subscribe to your service so that they can follow along the training themselves. One of the things we add to this is a Q&A site or a Q&A page. Now, this is extremely important because it allows the customer to connect with you, to ask you questions as the expert, and let you answer their questions and guide them along. People can search this page so they can see all of the different customers that are coming to you and all of the great answers you're giving them as the expert. One other important reason to have this, and that is it creates the information you need to start your next round. So now you've got more questions that you can do a whole new round and start with Volume 2. We call this the multicast content marketing cycle. This is a way to get your information out there, and when you add on all of the search engine optimization and sharing on Facebook and Twitter and all your other social media areas, this content can go viral pretty quickly. So let's review. Your expertise online starts with free content that we've created. We take the videos and the audio we've created and we can put you on iTunes. We can augment your blog or create a blog for you. You can send them out as video newsletters. Then we take and create premium content. Now, this is the training content. It's also your book. It's items of value that people can get either for free or they're willing to purchase, depending on your product. The next level in your expertise are live events. Now, don't let this scare you. It doesn't mean you're going to be performing on stage necessarily, unless, of course, that's what you do. What it means is you're going to be in front of a group of people explaining your product and letting them come to you seeking expert advice. This can be small group, it can be large group, it can be stage-based platform sales if you're up for that. Don't worry, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, and you still can keep it digital, but there's something to be said for the physical interaction between you and your customers. The next level is consulting. Now, this is where the customers would hire you if you have a service, or at this point would be also where they may make a large purchase from you if it's something physical that you're selling. Now, those of you that are consultants, do you think that once you've gone through the 3 previous stages that your potential customer might think you're an expert? Do you think that they might pay you more money for your consulting services? Of course they will. We've seen people that have gone from a $5,000 per gig speaking fee to up to $45,000 and even $70,000 per gig speaking fee because of their expert positioning within their market. And the last level doesn't apply to everyone, but this is certification. Certification is where you hire other people to do what you're doing and get out there and present the content. And they will pay to be certified within your industry or what you know. Now, again, this doesn't apply to everyone, but those of you that it does apply to, you can certainly see the value. So where do we go from here? This is the end of our first part about the new era of marketing, but you can find out more at www.expertmessage.com or email us info@cclearacademy.com. I'd like to invite you to hang on for part 2, the new era of marketing, the customer store. So I want to thank you very much for listening. Remember, position yourself as the expert and maximize your marketing investment by finding your best customer match using the customer store and expert message. I want to leave you with this last special thought. Please be in the moment. Remember to live, laugh, and love fully. Always try to leave the world a better place than when you got here. My name is Chuck Dinsmore with Expert Message, and I'm here to help you find your best customer.